So I am in Lackawanna State Park, having a little snack of a bagel and some tomatoes from my garden. Of course, a bunch of the tomatoes get ripe when I have to go out of town for a number of days. So yeah, what I'm doing out here is I'm heading to work to Boston, but instead of flying or driving straight through, I decided to find a place to camp for the night and then be able to get a bike ride in. So we're gonna go hit a bike path. Just got set up, need to call Aaron, and then we'll go hit the trail. I'll see after I do some riding if I have time to hit a brewery in Scranton or somewhere around there, or if I'm just gonna wanna come back here and sit by the fire and chill. But then we'll be onward to Boston, and hopefully we'll have a little time to ride out there too.
So to be clear, the reason I drove was to have my bike and all my photography lighting gear, and I was also on a tight schedule with when I needed to leave and get back, and I could not afford to have a flight get delayed on my way out or my way back with the job I was doing. On my way to the bike path, and we're getting some rain, but it looks pretty isolated. I'm gonna ride no matter what, but I think this is gonna pass anyways. All right, so I parked in the little town of Carbondale, and I'm on the Lackawanna River Heritage Trail, which connects to the two trails I was looking at riding for a while, the D&H and the C&W, I believe. We'll see when we get there, but yeah, like a little over a 20-minute drive to get to where I planned on parking, and now we're rolling. Looks like the trail the other way goes into the downtown, so maybe we'll check that out on the way back. The trails I'm actually heading to are the D&H, and then I'm going to go over to the O&W. I misspoke or just didn't know what I was talking about in that last clip. At first I thought I was just feeling really weak from being in the car all day, but actually a 1.7 grade, because we're going up this pretty fast flowing river, and we just crossed over onto the D&H Trail. They have a lot of bike parking out here so far, and I'm wondering if it's, you know, you lock up your bike and then you go hiking on one of the trails, or maybe there's some like waterfalls or something down the trails, so people do that. I'll have to look that up after. With my limited time, I'm just gonna ride mostly. Yeah, also picnic tables, dog waste stations. The video I saw by a buddy traveling through showed a lot of this trail being pretty rough. So I'm wondering if that's just way farther north and close to the city here, it's well maintained. Or since he made that video, it's all been improved. So that sign showed where you'd connect to the O&W Trail. So I might flip over there on the way back. I think there might be another crossover farther ahead if there is. Probably cross over there on the way back, but the trails do diverge going north. So I want to stay on this one for today. I think there might be ATV trails back here too. See a lot of rutted up crossovers with little hill bumps. Another thing that might be fun to ride if I make it back out this way. I was just reading some history of the railroad here from Forest City up into the coal mines. There were 3 competing railroads, all of them moving coal and mining coal. But it was interesting because it said because the 1.5% grade, they had these extra pusher steam engines that would come up behind and get them to the up over the 1.5% grade, then back down once the grade leveled off a little bit. So then it said, bikers, do you feel these grades? I feel the grade. Pretty out here though. That's one thing I'm reminding myself is that the way back is going to be much faster because it's going to be downhill, so I can go a little farther than I think I can or have time to. I'm not going to go super far today. I mean, just limited on time. I'm not crazy about driving after dark. So yeah, I was just glad to get out. Just a break on the trip to Boston. But I will link the video I mentioned by traveling through at the bottom because he rode the whole thing. And there's some cool stuff up by the end. It's cool to see like a faster flowing river. It's just something we don't really have at home because we're not in the mountains. But also, you know, I got that drizzle on the way here. Looks like it must have had a little downpour out here. Some puddles and wet trail. So sunny now. Still some clouds around. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it though. It's in the 80s and humid. If I got wet, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So the reason I brought the Raleigh drop hour gravel bike on this trip is because if I do get the chance to ride tomorrow night in Boston or over the weekend, I figured this bike would be more fun to have out there. There were some mountain bike trails around. I just didn't end up doing the research to figure out about them. They'd be smooth enough for this bike, or I decided, hey, there's a couple rail trails I've never been on. Gonna have a few hours to keep it simple, but being that this trail's I think almost 40 miles, there's the other trail, and like I said, there's mountain bike trails. This would be a good stop off if you were heading out east along 80. Yeah, and Scranton looks like it's worth checking out too. A lot of more steam engine history and museum type stuff, at least that I would be into, so I'm gonna keep it in mind for future trips. Not that you can see that with the GoPro, but it's the remnants of the old mill and where the water used to run through the wheels over there. Pretty cool. And then a restored pusher caboose. So all trains had cabooses into the early 80s till technology replaced them. But the pusher cabooses were extra strong, so the extra locomotives could go behind to push the train up the gradients. Pretty cool nerdy history back there if you're into trains. I also got some footage of the general store right behind there. Dates back to 1910. There's a cafe with sandwiches and drinks, so if you ever do that trail, this trail, that town is called Uniondale. Food stop there. So one thing I often think about on trails like this, rail trails, you know, with all the historical markers, is what is this beautiful nature we're riding through along the river and in the woods was, you know, all clear cut for the wood and noisy and dirty and the industrial area back in the day. So yeah, just a 180. I can only imagine what those tough workers would see or think seeing just people like me out here riding up the grade for recreation, or like in Back to the Future 3 when run for fun. What the hell kind of fun is that? So yeah, Deep Thoughts by Tim Fitzwater when he rides alone. So it's almost 4 and I'm 13.5 miles in. Decided to turn around at that roadway. The sign said caution, unimproved trail ahead, so that would kind of be the good stuff. But also, I think that's why I'm going to turn around. It'll give me more motivation to come back and ride that. Also, I do kind of want to check out the town I started in, and then that Forest Hills town on the way back, and then maybe even head to Scranton. I don't know. Like I said, this is kind of just a stop off on a work trip, but just trying to decide how much I want to squeeze in. But we'll play it by ear. Oh wow, yeah, you would kind of not really notice you had been climbing that slight grade once you get just used to that. Just kind of thinking that's how you feel. Turning around and coming down this slight downhill is so noticeable, you know. Probably at least 2 gears harder already, and it just feels so much easier. When I cross any road too, they look really cool, but real steep, you know, perpendicular to this trail. So I'm guessing there's some really pretty but extremely challenging road riding out here too. I'll have to ask Ed, because down past Scranton is Wilkes-Barre, my buddy who lives in Columbus I've ridden with on these videos a number of times is from. So I was thinking of hitting him up, but again, my limited time, I didn't want all these awesome suggestions I knew I wouldn't have any time to do. Some of you guys gave me good suggestions in the Discord and in the comments on the live stream as well. But yeah, as I keep saying, limited time. But even the park I'm staying at, it looks like it has some cool stuff. But that was just a way, you know, camping is so much cheaper than anything else. So that's also why I did that. And also why I'm not sure if I'll go get dinner somewhere or if I'll go back to my campsite, because they said I'm camping, but camping to save money, not really to enjoy a camp out. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Big old dam. Good views that the GoPro won't show, but windmills way out there on the hill too. Good thing they're way out there so I don't get cancer, or however you do that. But yeah. 14% grade on that street. Came up here to see the views though. So just a quick loop through Forest Hill. Can't remember. Anyways, definitely trying to market themselves as a trail town, so kind of cool. Little climb up in there, but it's short, so you can do it. So, not gonna have a political debate on this channel, but a big sign in that town by someone that said, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" What was going on 4 years ago? Summer of 2020. Am I better off than I was then? So I just crossed over onto the O&W Trail. It's definitely bumpier, but we're close. It's not a long ride, so even if it's a little rough, we're close to being back in town. So we'll take this back in. Definitely go up the D&H and down the O&W. It's fun. I think this is a spur off the trail I started on, because it wide right at the beginning. So, little ride through the town on the roads. Oh yeah, that's where I wide off. So now I'm back on the same trail into town. See about making a loop through town, decide what we're gonna do. Just past where I parked. Let's see if this trail goes anywhere, if we just takes us right into downtown or what. Looks like some kind of festival downtown. Let's go check it out. $30-mile ride. It's only a little after 5. I could have gone a lot farther, but whatever. I did check out that festival. Some good looking Puerto Rican food there, but there was other good looking food too. It all smelled good. But I think I might actually go, since it's early, check out Scranton. Don't think I'll ride there, but maybe get dinner there and just maybe go for a walk or something. So I did end up going into Scranton. I got dinner at a place called Mutant Brewing. I drove around a little bit and then I walked around a little bit, but the sun was setting by the time I was done, so I wanted to get back to camp. I ended up getting a fire going and everything, which is pretty nice, so I had a pretty great day. I think this is the first time I've ever done the 80, 84 route out east. Usually do 90, which is up along kind of the Erie Canal corridor. So this is a cool area. Definitely come back. There's more towns I want to check out. Didn't get to see Wilkes-Barre at all. Seems like there'd be gravel riding, mountain bike riding, just a lot to do out here. So I don't know. We head out east every fall. Maybe this would be a stop off in this region on the way back. Yeah, I assume this is Hartford, Connecticut. So the drive between Hartford and Boston is going to be miserable, I guarantee that. But I've mentally prepared myself not to get there at any kind of reasonable time. Friday afternoon traffic, I tried to leave early but got stuck. So here we are. It is what it is at this point. I'm about a half hour from my destination in Boston. I've actually made incredible time. Of course, that could all go awry, but I felt like I was slowed down in traffic a bunch, but Google Maps must have already calculated that in because, yeah, I'm only a few minutes off what it gave me the estimate this morning. I have to say I'm nervous to drive a car in Boston. I've never done it, and I know how chaotic and just how aggressive Boston drivers are. It makes New York look like absolutely nothing. Oh man, I didn't know this was going to take me right through downtown. I was hoping since I was going into the farther neighborhood of Roxbury, Jamaica Plain, that I wouldn't have to come through Boston, and came right through the tunnels, and yeah. I am not a fan of driving in a city anyways, especially this one. So I did get safely to my friend's place in Boston. I ended up doing a lot more riding than I thought I was going to be able to, so get subscribed up to see that. I decided to break it off into a totally separate video. Give this video a like and consider becoming a channel member if you want to help support us a little more. Thanks as always for watching. I will see you in that next Boston video. Peace.